Greetings, friends. Alright, as is the case every time, I'm making videos about languages and language learnings, okay? I'd like to say greetings to my fellow friends, linguists, linguophiles, common language learners, and of course those who do and do not know about linguistics, multiple language learning, and such on and so forth, okay? Alright, I usually don't like to get involved in the politics of the online community of language learners, okay, polyglots on YouTube, and basically others, okay, but there are camps starting to form, okay. One of the camps is, it's basically like Christoph Klucksen and people that agree with him, and then it's like people who don't really know about him and people who know about Benny, Moses, McCormick, okay. I'm not really going to get into it a whole lot because I don't care that much, but you know, I'm interested in languages and language learning, and so are these guys, and it's like kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of puts like a bad feel to everything. But you know, both of the guys have points, and I'm starting to, you know, I'm starting to see the development of people like Luca and what's Benny and also Moses. Like basically they're guys that speak a lot of languages, and they've kind of used that to their advantage to develop like an image and like make money and stuff. And Christoph Klucksen, I mean, everybody knows the guy's a little bit of an asshole, but hey, like he's got a point too, you know what I mean? So that's all I'm really going to say about that. Yeah, cause I'm not going to get into that too much. The purpose of my videos is about like languages and language learning, and just like, you know, not really politics and drama, okay? So the topic of this video, okay, is about learning languages. The topic is about methods that we use to learn languages, okay? And I gotta say, like, you know, even though Christoph Klucksen's a little bit of an ass, like, I kind of appreciate him, you know what I mean? I kind of appreciate what he's doing, because it makes me think about stuff, okay, and that's good. And he's got some videos out about the German volume method, okay? And it makes me think about something I want to contribute to about methods in language learning. And basically the question is, how do we learn languages, okay? What's the best way? I'm going to give a little background about language learning methods, okay? And then I'm going to go into different learning styles, and then I'm going to pretty much, you know, like make some closing comments, okay? So I should probably remember what I'm going to talk about here, okay? Quick note to myself: methods, okay, learning styles, and closing comments, okay. So what are the different, what's like the history and what are the different language learning methods, okay? If we're talking about learning languages that start from the past, let's start with Latin, okay? And Latin was pretty much like lingua franca of the ancient world, you know, and I think for the first time, as far as my knowledge, when like people really thought about learning languages and put in a lot of effort and stuff, you know. And this is from my perspective, I'm not like an expert or anything, not really, but yeah, so people learn Latin. How'd they learn it? They learned it to read and write, okay? And there's something called the grammar translation method, which is pretty much the first language method to utilize. And it's like you read stuff and you translate it from your L1 to your L2, or basically like from Latin to your whatever language you want. So people could learn to read and write. Why'd they do this? Because Latin was a language of the ancient world, and how'd you communicate over long distances? With writing, okay? And so people are like, alright, let's read this text in Latin, let's translate it, and then it's like, that's how they learn the language. And they don't really learn to speak or listen, because it wasn't really necessary back in those times, you just like sent letters and stuff. That's grammar translation method, alright? Whatever time frame we're talking about here. Ancient times to like 1960-ish, okay? What happens in 1960-ish? There's something called the audiolingual method, okay? And the audiolingual method is like the anti-grammar translation method. Christ is grammar translation. The Antichrist is audiolingual. Why this happened? Because audiolingual has nothing to do with listening and speaking. So the pendulum's hard on reading and writing. What happens? You're like, oh, this isn't really working. People can't listen and speak. So we need to change our method, okay? Keep that in mind. We need to change our method to the audiolingual method. The pendulum swings to the other side, okay? And it's talking about, yeah, we listen, we speak, and you look at a lot of the early stuff from the government, from like government training programs. I remember in particular an Albanian thing it was like an Albanian, some kind of training manual for the government. It was hardcore audiolingual, and you could see that because just the way it was laid out and made, because this is how it works. Like, people in academia think about language methods, and then boom, the government looks at that stuff and it's like, alright, this is the best way to do it. The government like applies that. Yeah. And so there's also like the marketing and selling your methods and stuff, which is what Benny and Moses and these guys are trying to. Well, I'd say particularly Benny, probably Luca as well. But yeah, it's like a triangle. You have the academics, the universities coming up with these methods, then you have marketing and money, and then you have like implementation with government, and it's all kind of interrelated, but whatever. So audiolingual, start with a point. So boom, grammar translation, we swing to audiolingual, and then people are like, okay, this is, you know, great, this is working. Time goes on. You get more methods. People are saying, okay, grammar translation didn't work because it's too much reading and writing. Audiolingual, you know, it's not really working because we're not getting as much reading and writing. It's like, okay, right? It's hard. Look what happens. Too much reading and writing. Go to audiolingual. We only do listening and speaking. And it's like, oh, okay, not enough reading and writing. So the pendulum starts to swing back to the other side, but not as far. Okay, here's language learning methods in historical context. Grammar translation, audiolingual. Now we come to like TPR, and like there's this relaxation method. These are like the modern methods that are coming out in like the 80s and 90s. Okay, and you know, obviously the pendulum's going to go like this, and it's going to find a happy medium. And when I went through grad school and graduated from grad school, yeah, let's see. So the current knowledge was that we don't want to use any particular method because you need to leave yourself open for using different techniques or incorporating things from many different methods. Okay, let me say that one more time. Okay, if you use one particular method that's cut in stone, you're not going to be able to be flexible in your language learning, which is going to limit potential growth. Okay, so here's an example. I want to learn, what do I want to learn? I pretty much want to learn Georgian. Okay, I want to learn Georgian and Navajo. Yeah, pretty much I want to learn Georgian, okay? Also Navajo. And if I'm going to do this, like, I know I need to focus on the 4 skills. This video is getting a little bit too long, okay? So I'm going to end it soon. Here's the point. I want to focus on the 4 skills. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing, right? If the language has got a script, okay, great. The languages I learn have scripts. And if not, I'll invent a script with the IPA. Anyways, yeah, so reading, writing, and so I'm going to basically incorporate things, different techniques, and different study methods I can do to learn the language. I'm not going to focus on one particular method that's been invented by some academician in, you know, at universities because he says it's the best way to do it. Because I know I can understand how this guy thinks and what he's doing. So I might use certain things from certain methods to best fit my learning styles, which was the next topic. I'm not really have time for that. Learning styles. Save it for next time. Alright, next video is on learning styles.